Living with a chronic illness can often feel like you're navigating a world where the rules keep changing and control slips through your fingers. For those of us battling invisible illnesses, the challenges extend beyond ourselves. They impact our family, friends, and loved ones who walk this path alongside us. In today's episode, I'm sharing my journey, the lessons learned, and how faith and perseverance have helped us as a family adapt. This isn't just my story. It's a story of shared strength, creativity, and finding hope even when the path is uncertain. Let's dive in. Welcome to Repurpose Journey, where we explore the art of transforming life's challenges into powerful stories of hope, resilience, and purpose. I'm Laura, your host and fellow traveler on this path of rediscovery. After my own diagnosis with chronic illness, I have found that healing is more than just a physical journey. It's about embracing peace and purpose even in the midst of chaos. Each week we'll dive into inspiring interviews with incredible individuals who've faced life-altering conditions and have emerged stronger, more compassionate, and more determined to make a difference. Whether you're seeking encouragement, insight, or just a moment of peace, you've come to the right place. So grab a cup of your favorite coffee or favorite chai and settle in. And join me as we navigate the twists and turns of the Repurpose Journey, where every challenge becomes an opportunity to create a life of courage, kindness, and meaning. Living with chronic illness can often feel like you're living in a world where the rules keep changing, and you're not in control of the game. For those of us who battle invisible illnesses, it's a daily challenge not just for us, but for those who walk the path alongside us, family, friends, and loved ones. In today's episode, I want to share how my own journey has unfolded, the lessons I've learned, and how through faith and perseverance we've found ways to adapt. No one's journey looks the same, but we can all find strength and creativity as we navigate this together. One of the things I've come to understand through living with chronic illness is that my triggers don't look like anyone else's. There are days when it feels like I'm allergic to life itself, while others go about their routines with ease, without even a second thought. It can be very disheartening when something as simple as bright lights or flashing lights or weather shifts can throw me off entirely. I often struggle with this reality, and I struggle even more with the impact it has on others around me. The guilt of living with a health condition isn't just my own, it extends to my loved ones. As hard as it is to come to terms with the physical limitations, it's the emotional toll on my family that weighs heavily on me. Chronic illness doesn't just affect the person living with it, it ripples through every relationship, and that's something I had to learn the hard way. You might think it's just the person who is unwell that experiences stress or change, but every family member or friend surrounding them feels it too. The weight of guilt comes not just from feeling limited, but from knowing others are adjusting their lives to accommodate. The burden can be heavy, but it's important to acknowledge it's a shared journey, and no two journeys, even the same diagnosis, look the same. This shared burden brought both challenges and blessings to my family. My family's incredible support came at a cost, but I learned that together, the things I thought we needed to hold on to weren't always important as I believed. Sometimes the things I cherished most are the very things I needed to let go. It's not just me who feels the effects of my illness. My family has been my rock, but it hasn't always been easy for them either. There have been times when I've felt like I'm holding them back. For example, there were family trips we had to cut short because I wasn't feeling well, or experiences they had to skip because the environment was just too overwhelming for me. My children especially had to learn at a young age that mom doesn't always feel well. As a parent, that's hard to accept because you want to be there for your kids in every way. The support they've shown me, though, has been incredible. My husband and children adjusted their lives in so many ways, and I know that they did that out of love. But I still feel the guilt. But the guilt I feel knowing how many things they missed out on because of me or things that had to change is something I continued to work through. I've learned over time that while my illness is a part of me, I can't control everything. Some of my biggest triggers are impossible to avoid: flickering and flashing lights, inconsistent sleep, stress, changes in weather, and especially barometric pressure. The frustrating part, these triggers just aren't controllable. You can't plan for them, you can't predict them. I can only do my best with the things within my reach, but some days even that doesn't feel like it's enough. When I say I control what I can, I mean that I've created habits and routines that help me to stay balanced. I aim for consistent schedules and prioritize my sleep. I move my body every day it allows, whether it's a long walk or just a few minutes. For me, something is always better than nothing, so I do what I can do. I focus on mindset, filling my mind with positive things. looking to see the good, God's Word, and daily gratitude. Even on the hardest days, I make it a point to find at least one good thing. No matter how small or insignificant it might seem, I choose to see the good. However, not everything can be controlled, and sometimes no matter how hard you try to manage what's within your grasp, the environment around you fights back. The external triggers, those lights, those shifts in weather, feel like mountains we just couldn't climb. Living in Colorado for over 20 years was both a blessing and a challenge. The Rocky Mountains, the big blue skies, the aspen trees are breathtaking, but the constant changes in weather and barometric pressure change made it difficult for me to thrive. So in 2018, after much thought, my husband and I decided to sell our home. We wanted to downsize and see if living in a different climate could help me with my health. By April of 2020, after downsizing significantly, we found a beautiful RV and decided to set out on an 18-month journey across many states with our 2 teenagers. The decision to leave everything we knew behind wasn't just a search for a better weather, it was a leap of faith, a hope that a different environment might offer a sense of relief we hadn't before found. To do all this was not a decision we took lightly. My husband and I talked for months, weighing the pros and cons. We knew we needed a change, and we believed that finding a different climate would improve my health. But leaving the place our children grew up, the community we had built over the years, it wasn't easy. My kids gave up their consistency of friends, their community of dance, and all the things. My family's willingness to make such a huge sacrifice for my well-being touched me deeply, and even now I feel immense gratitude for their kindness and support during that time. I can't thank them enough for that. Some places felt better, others didn't, but through it all we learned to adapt. Each new location brought its own challenges, but it also brought a new memory and deeper connection with our family. The plan was to explore the southern states to see if a change in climate would positively impact my health. We dropped our oldest off at college and began our travels. My family's willingness to make such a huge sacrifice for my well-being touched me deeply, and even now I feel immense gratitude for their kindness and support during that time. I can't thank them enough for that. After 18 months on the road, we settled in Florida for nearly 2 years. While there were many wonderful aspects of our time there, I realized that a drier climate might be easier for me. So once again, we set off in search of something different. Now it's just my husband and I, as both of our kids have graduated from college and are pursuing their own dreams. But the journey wasn't just about letting go of our physical home. It also required us to think outside the box financially. My husband and I had to get creative with how we brought in income. I'm so thankful that God opened the doors for us, allowing us to shift to an online income that provided for us and carried us through the challenges. One of the biggest sacrifices in all of this was my husband's career. He had built a life of service in public safety, a career he loved and poured his heart into for many years. Letting that go was a monumental change for him. I remember the day he came home and said to me, "I'm willing to give this up for us, for you." It broke my heart knowing how much he loved his job, but at the same time it filled me with so much gratitude. It was a leap of faith, trusting that God had a plan, and he would open the doors we couldn't see yet. And he did. We shifted to an online income, something completely different from what my husband was used to, but it provided for us, and it was such a blessing. Through this journey, my faith has been my anchor. There were many nights when I prayed for relief, for clarity on what to do next. I know not everyone has the option to pack up and search for better conditions, but I share this part of my journey to encourage others to think outside the box. Sometimes finding peace or relief requires stepping away from what you thought you couldn't live without. It's about being open to change, even if that means giving up what you once cherished to make space for something that might help you live better. If you're listening to this and feel trapped by your illness, or if you feel like your family is making sacrifices because of you, I want you to know you're not alone. It's okay to feel guilty. It's okay to mourn the things that you had to give up. But just don't stay there. There is life to be lived, and sometimes the hardest part is accepting that it might not look the way you envisioned it. And that's okay. Think outside the box. Take a leap of faith, even if that means stepping into the unknown. This journey has taught me that no one's path looks the same, whether you're navigating illness, caregiving, or just the unpredictability of life itself. But even in uncertainty, there is an opportunity for growth and creativity. What's important is being willing to step into the unknown and trust the journey. While different from others, it's valuable and worth walking. Thank you so much for listening to the Repurpose Journey podcast today. I would love for you to subscribe. And if you have questions or want to learn more, please go to www.repurposejourney.com. See you soon.